We're now going to bring in Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell of California. He's a member of the Judiciary Committee. He's also a ranking member of the newly created House Judiciary Select Subcommittee on January 6th. He is also running for governor of California. Congressman, the hearing next week is separate from the new Judiciary Select Committee for which you are a ranking member. Will you attend Tuesday's hearing? What do you expect?
I will, and I expect that you will hear that we are not going to let Republicans led by Donald Trump erase the heroism of the January 6th police officers and to clean the hands of Donald Trump's responsibility. No one else in the world could have convened the mob to attack the Capitol the way that Donald Trump did that day. And as much as he tries to rewrite what happened that day, what's unique about January 6th is that it lands for Americans as one of the most three significant dates in our history since the Civil War. Of course, there's Pearl Harbor, there's September 11, and there's January 6th. And January 6th is one where we saw it with our own eyes. We saw Donald Trump's mob so violently attack the police officers as they sought to get inside the Capitol and change the results on his behalf. You cannot erase from our own memories what Donald Trump did that day, and we're not going to let them.
Congressman, are you at all thinking about how Democrats get the public to re-engage on this, on the anniversary, but also engage with the material that we've seen in this deposition from Jack Smith? And I ask because I do wonder at times if there is a risk or a danger at all, because the public in some ways wants to move forward from these things. For many people, not just the reporters and lawmakers who are on the ground, that was a traumatic and exhausting day. And I just wonder if people are trying to put this behind them.
Well, there's a cost of corruption that's associated with everything Donald Trump has done, right? He tried to corrupt the election and have people violently attack the Capitol on January 6th. The cost that we're living with now is this culture of corruption where if you are in the Trump circle, if you pay him enough, or if you do one of these drug deals as law firms and entertainment companies and university presidents have done, then you reap all the benefits and honest, hardworking people get left out. And so that's really where I would take this narrative is that he has brought, corruption to our politics, and he has done it by tearing down the rule of law. But the biggest betrayal that Donald Trump has put upon us since taking office this most recent term is not letting 1,600 violent individuals back into the communities. That's bad. It's that he promised the first thing he would do on day one was lower cost. He didn't lower costs. He put those violent individuals back into our communities. And not only did he break a promise to lower costs, and politicians break promises, he went in the opposite direction. He put tariffs in place and he has increased costs. So whether it's the cost of corruption or the betrayal by increasing costs, he's let us down every single day since he let those violent insurrectionists into our community.
Well, it's interesting to hear you thread all those different pieces together back to January 6th, because Republicans and even figures like Steve Bannon have sort of openly talked about the fact that there is a strategy here to, quote, flood the zone. There's so much happening on so many fronts. It may be interconnected, but it's very difficult for the public and for Congress to sort of wrap its head around what to do and what is even happening in the first place. As you head into 2026 now, there's midterms, there's this beginning with this massive anniversary. Do Democrats have a counter strategy to that? Because I can see myself that the Republican side, the Trump administration, very much still has that strategy in play.
Well, I can tell you, I don't talk to everyone in the country. I talk to a lot of Californians. And when you talk to them about what they care about the most, going to war with Venezuela or Nigeria or Syria ranks at the very bottom. Letting violent insurrectionists back into our community ranks at the very bottom. Using the Department of Justice not to protect us from terrorism, but to go after the president's enemies ranks at the very bottom. What ranks at the very top is the cost crisis in America. The president said he would lower costs on day one, and most Californians would say, Mr. President, you're 0 for 350. So if you just focus on that, you could have the support of the American people. Midterm message that I would recommend is it costs too much. This president costs too much, literally for what we're paying in groceries, but also figuratively in the rights that our immigrants and women in the country have lost since he's taken office.
I have to ask you too, Congressman, about retribution. Of course, as part of this deposition, what we heard from Special Counsel Jack Smith was that he would not be surprised. And in fact, he seems to be anticipating, he expects that there will be some form of retribution, something that may come for him in the coming days or months. You, too, are under the microscope of this administration for alleged mortgage fraud. Can you speak at all to where that is going? And also to what you expect will happen to Jack Smith. Do you think they're going through his mortgage records now? What do you know as a lawmaker?
Well, he'd join an honorable club if they do go after him, because what the president has done against Adam Schiff and Tish James and Lisa Cook from the Federal Reserve Board on mortgages is nonsense. It's nonsense what he's done, going after me. By the way, I've gone on offense. What's not nonsense is the lawsuit that I've brought against Trump for violating First Amendment rights and privacy law. But he's doing this because we are vocal critics of the administration. But what has impressed me from Schiff to James to Cook and, of course, Jack Smith is that not one person has flinched under these threats. No one's hiding under the bed. Nobody is shrinking. We are continuing to shine a light on the corruption, on the cruelty. And that's just a long way of saying, I'm not going away. They're not going away. We know who we're fighting for and why we're doing it. And the president's intimidation is not going to work.